In this video, I'm going to be counting down the top 10 most sexist majors. The percentage of students with penises is not even close to the same as those with vaginas, which is pretty problematic. Law and Women's Studies professor Christine Littleton of UCLA eloquently demonstrates the enormous benefits of caring about what junk people have, also known as diversity, in one of her on-campus speeches.
Many people used to believe that it was a trade-off. You could have the best, or you could have diversity, right? You could have the best and select only those people who were at the very top, or you could have a mix.
Are you saying to me that all black people are alike, therefore you've got to mix and match by race?
And in fact, what we found is the mix is the top.
Sweeping claims for the benefits of diversity in innumerable institutions have prevailed, without a speck of evidence being asked for or given. Nobody's tested to see whether diversity enriches the educate. No.
It's just definitional. Intellectuals have many skills which will enable them to evade the testing of what they believe.
I clearly just proved that having a good penis-to-vagina ratio has enormous benefits when it comes to the quality of work. So let's start our list of the top 10 majors that are the worst offenders when it comes to biological sex diversity. In at number 10 we have engineering at 83% male. Next up at number 9 we have computer science, a little higher at 85% male. Then coming in at number 8 we have physics at a whopping 87% male. This is clearly too many penises for anyone to handle. Yes, homo. And now we have to ask ourselves, why are these rigorous, math-intensive fields systematically excluding vaginas?
For every 100 girls who score 700 points or higher on the math section of the SAT, 184 boys do the same.
It's important for women to be able to compete in a male environment, but it's important to help those women, to support those women in terms of confidence and in terms of self-belief, because women are more naturally self-reflected. Again, not all women, a lot of men are like this too.
It's sort of a weird sexist position to take, isn't it? So women can't really take it, so we need to be extra specially careful around them.
Women need extra help and extra support in only these specific subjects compared to the boys. That makes absolutely perfect sense. Women do have the choice to pick whatever major they want, but they're clearly picking the wrong ones.
Women simply don't make the same choices that female academics and feminists would like them to.
And now we're back to our countdown. At number 7, in our first female-dominated major, we have social work. At a crazy 88% female. That is way too many buns and not enough hot dogs. And next up we have what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, number 6, nursing. And an astonishing 90% female.
If you believe that the number of women in STEM subjects is too low because women are not being encouraged to do science subjects, there aren't enough women in physics and maths and philosophy, you have to explain why women dominate biology. Why women dominate medicine.
Because of the girly sciences.
What does that mean?
They're the sciences that are more linked to caring and fashion.
I don't think you should make generalizations like that. Some people find that kind of offensive.
And at number 5 we have electrical and mechanical repair at an unheard of 91% male, and even worse at number 4, construction management at an overwhelming 93% male. These two fields are just oozing with toxic masculinity. If we just made them more inclusive to women and started encouraging them more to enter these fields, they would start becoming mechanics and construction workers in record numbers. I know this to be the case, even though I never surveyed or even talked to any women.
A research team by Cornell University's Stephen Ceci and Wendy Williams asked why women hold less than 1/3 of tenure-track positions in math-intensive fields such as physics, chemistry, geoscience, and engineering. They examined several hundred analyses of recent data on hiring, salary, promotion, productivity, and job satisfaction. And they found that women fare as well as men in professional achievement and satisfaction in these math-intensive science fields. PhD women are as likely as men to be invited to interview for tenure-track jobs, to be offered such a job, to receive comparable salaries, be promoted to assistant professor. Their rates of grant funding are comparable with men, they work similar hours, and they express similar levels of career satisfaction.
This, of course, is complete nonsense. The discrimination is definitely there, but it's probably become so normalized that the women don't even notice it.
When CC and Williams presented the highlights of their work in a New York Times op-ed, there was blowback. One science professor found the piece to contain flawed and offensive logic. Critics claimed that the authors turned a blind eye to workplace hostility, thereby overlooking the malignant forces to which women were surely subject.
And another thing, keeping women only out of the fields I think there should be more in. Like only 14% of girls want to be scientists, which is unacceptable. We need to have teenage girls that don't want to be scientists because I know better than them.
Of all A-level physics students, only 20% are girls. How can you possibly say that we're in an equal environment where girls are coming out and studying science as much as boys are?
It's based on an assumption that there ought to be some kind of gender parity. My suggestion is that there isn't. We don't complain when women dominate subjects like nursing. We shouldn't complain when men dominate subjects like physics.
Nowhere in the world do you find this evenness that people use as a norm. And I find it fascinating that they will hold up as a norm something that has never been seen on this planet, and regard as an anomaly something that is seen in country after country.
Out of 65 countries, the UK has the highest discrepancy between confidence amongst boys and girls in terms of how good they feel that they are. Girls are coming out of school and not going into those careers because they feel they're not good enough.
A common argument you might hear is that treating girls in STEM like special snowflakes and warning them of the big bag boogeyman of discrimination and hostility could actually be leading to less girls wanting to enter these specific fields.
The image of these fields as being sexist may in itself have a chilling effect, and that is the very image that's being touted by the critics. With job satisfaction high among the women studied, it's a challenge to believe they are unhappy and oppressed in their workplaces. What's exciting about the CC and Williams study is that it offers a picture of the rewards that await women who are considering academic careers in math-intensive fields. Claims of bias against women in academic science have been greatly exaggerated, and at worst could be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That is not funny, and it is not true.
Let's get back to our countdown. At number 3 we have fashion. At 95% female. This number is so high because we don't encourage straight white men enough to go into these fields.
I think the same problem exists in the arts. I don't think that boys are encouraged to explore writing and drama and dance and poetry. I think it's a problem that runs on both sides.
But nobody complains about that.
I'm complaining about it right now. I think it's really bad.
This is the evil straight white twin brother here, and I just had to comment on this because it paints a perfect picture of what feminism and social justice is. She declares that not enough men in arts is really bad, but men themselves are not complaining about it. She has surveyed 0 men about what they actually think, yet she has this vision of the world in her head, so she speaks on the behalf of all men. Men can go up and tell this lady that I'm great in math-based subjects, I express my emotions fine, and I like being the way I am. Yet she will have this idea in her head that men need her help getting more in touch with their feminine side and go into subjects like poetry, which they don't want to. You can also see the smug look on her face, thinking to herself how amazing of a person she is for also caring about men's issues. The only problem with that is that number 1, men do not find this to be a problem. And number 2, she will do absolutely nothing for this cause. She won't go to school and start encouraging boys to get into poetry. They'd probably laugh at her anyway. So no, I do not need your help, lady. I've liked and have been good at math, and have disliked and sucked at art since I was 5 years old. I do not want to do art, I want to do math. Please stop speaking for me.
Take your privilege somewhere else, please, because your privilege is not welcome here. So unless you are here to dismantle your privilege, please find somewhere else to go.
Anyway, back to the list. Number 2, child development. At 97% female. This one particularly hurts me because these women are internalizing typical gender norms. They might think they love children and want to be around them, but in reality, they don't. They're only living up to the patriarchal expectations of women and pretending to want to do it. Finally, the most sexist and least diverse college major. Gender studies.
Oh my God!
At 99% female. This major even used to call itself women's studies. How are men supposed to feel included and safe when it's restrictive in its own name? And the worst part is, this major prides itself on inclusion and diversity. Let us have women's professor Christine Littleton remind us again what she thinks about the importance of diversity.
Get better results in a diverse group than you do in a group that's all one color, or all one religion, or all one race, or all one sex.
So I'm getting told about the importance of diversity from a person who studies in a field with absolutely no diversity.
I don't get it.
Diversity is good, which we heard from a gender studies professor, telling us that diversity is better than merit. But that really means diversity is bad. But the opposite of diverse is identical, which means having all women is good. That means what they say is true. But we shouldn't listen to a word they say, which means the professor is being the opposite of what she preaches, which means she's a hypocrite.
Aha! I understand everything now.
I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will be judged by the content of their character